wanted to say again, I've been very grateful to be a part of this tribunal. It is important and it is historic, and I think that it is clear to me that the testimonies that were given today, landing on the knowledge that we already have about what's been happening both in Palestine and in the UC, is that the charges are very well supported, and so in that sense, those charges carry. Well, some of the things, just in terms of what really struck me today about this, and I have been thinking, like all of you probably have been thinking about what's been happening in Gaza and Palestine nonstop for 402 days and long before that. But among the things was just the testimonies coming from doctors and healthcare workers who've had experiences or are working in Gaza, and also the people who have survived and provided testimony for this tribunal. It's incredible just to really reflect upon just a few tiny things that struck me. Was like one thing that I actually probably knew in my heart of hearts, but I'd never heard anyone say before, was just this pervasive child suicidal ideation, which is just, sort of understandable. We also heard about, in Gaza, it is the highest per capita proportion of child amputees of any war ever, and that I think is very significant. Gaza is also a site that has given us one of the tragic new acronyms, WCNSF, Wounded Child No Surviving Family. So these are the kind of things that we heard about firsthand, from people who've been experiencing this. And it's just that kind of, sort of testimony just is, proves the evidence of genocide and the complicity of the University of California for having the audacity to support it, but even to have the audacity to repress protesters against it. And so what we've heard today is, abundant evidence of a man-made catastrophe. And when you hear the word man-made, it almost sounds abstract, almost like a natural catastrophe. But man-made is important because the men and women who make this catastrophe are nameable. They are individuals who are nameable, and we can know them. And this tribunal has been an opportunity to know and name and shame them. And that is knowledge that we can use for political purposes going forward. So the thing about genocide, the definition of genocide is that it requires intent, the intent to destroy in whole or in part a people as such. And so consequently, we've heard intent. We've heard evidence of intent. But the Genocide Convention, the fact that the Genocide Convention calls upon states, governments, to prevent and punish genocide. In that sense, the prevention and the punishment are duties of states. But abetment and complicity with genocide is not limited to states. And in that sense, that's where we are with, sort of the activism all around the world, including in the University of California. And I would just, conclude my statements by saying that for the University of California, for all of the things that they have done, the investments and the support and the repression of activists and the infringement of free speech, et cetera, the University of California has violated its own mission. As the Third World Liberation Front told us, they're not virgins at this. They've been doing this for a while, but we are at a moment now where it is one of the most intensive in scope, scale, and casualties, a disaster that that's befallen people around the world. And so if we cannot protest this, and if we cannot use our voices to try to stop this genocide, then no one will be free, because Palestine is paradigm.